Good morning, y'all. How are y'all doing? Welcome back to my channel, and today we're gonna go through another drill, which is how to be able to kick up and building that coordination, that power generation to bring our hips over to our shoulders, over our hands, and letting our hands serve like a fulcrum. And this is how the movement pattern kind of looks like when we don't want to break lines on some parts of our body, especially on the hips, maybe on our shoulders. If you're afraid, this will definitely show up whenever you're kicking up. So we want to try to practice this as safely as possible, and that's why we're going to be doing it against a wall first. Now, you'll notice on my floor that there are lines or masking tape that serves to measure how far I need to be from the wall. And for today, we want to start to practice very, very close to the wall as much as we need to so that our feet can come in contact to the wall and it can help us push us back to go back down. Now, the thing here is, first and foremost, that we have to remember and really practice into our system is that first we push tall on our shoulders. So notice this is relaxed or neutral. We're going to elevate the shoulders, shoulders coming up to the ears, and notice how it's almost hugging my ears together. So I have this nice, strong, stable shoulder and hand placement that will serve as the fulcrum as we go up and down. What we don't want to happen is this. So this is going like it's moving like this. Okay? The moment that our hips lift off the ground, this keep pushing tall from this position. We keep pushing tall and it's naturally gonna open up to become this vertical position. All right? Now, this is much easier said than done, so it's better to put it into practice and see for yourself how it's working for you. All right? So, as I've said, we're going to come close to the wall as much as possible, and maybe first play around with one hand away from the wall. You want to always practice how we place our hands in any of the drills that I've been talking about in my previous videos. In our handstand practice, about shoulder distance apart. You want to open the fingers almost like you're gripping the floor. We want to distribute our weight across our whole hand. All right? So, shoulder distance, gripping the ground, pushing, elbows are locked. At no point are we bending on the elbows. Pushing tall. Now, we're going to do the tuck version of this, and we're going to try to put our feet and knees together or either. All right. I want to look straight down on my hands, somewhere between my thumbs or maybe even a little bit lower. What we don't want is to open the neck or tuck the chin. All right. So finding our strong position here. Notice my shoulders are moving like this for now. And the moment that I reach my hips up, lifting off to the wall, we want to keep pushing tall and not resist it. Otherwise, your hips are just going to keep coming down, which I'm going to show you right now. If you're fighting it, what's going to happen is you're just going to jump and nothing's going to happen. Yeah? Notice that the angle of my shoulders and my chest is always facing down to the ground. And that's a very big sign of fear. Okay? So, if it's enough that my words can guide you, that as long as you keep your elbows straight, keep pushing tall, once you reach or once your hips lift off, you have the wall to catch you, and that's your safest position. All you need to do is to keep pushing tall, push the wall away with your feet, and then you're just going to come right down the way you came up. Let me show you how that looks. Planting the hands, using the fingers, the knuckle pads, pushing tall. All right. Ideally, I want your shoulders above the shoulders from the beginning. But if you need to have a little bit of a forward momentum, go ahead and shift back a little bit. Or from here, I want to kick nice and strong enough to get my hips off the wall. And now my feet is on the wall. All I need to do is to keep pushing tall. All right. Now I have had enough. I'm going to push, and notice gravity is just going to help you to come back down. All right? What you don't want to do here is to be super close to the wall that your head keeps hitting the wall. Okay? So let's say I'm only half a hand away from the wall, and I'm here. My head is gonna touch, and I'm also pressing against the wall, which is stopping my momentum. So if we're gonna talk about physics a little bit, we want our energy to be driving down and up. Okay, so our hips, as we push down, the hips go up like this, and we push down again, and pushing tall, so the hips come up flying towards the ceiling or the sky. And this is a very distinct feeling. If you're fighting, if you're not allowing the momentum to carry you up and forward, it's gonna feel really heavy and very tight. But if you're doing this correctly, it will feel like your legs are floating and your body feels weightless. Because when you're already on a stacked position, this is your hand, your elbow, your hips, it's a very strong structural positioning that your joints are mostly doing the work, just like a bridge. And all you need to do is to keep pushing tall to create that stability on the shoulders and not collapse under it. All right, let's do that a few times. Let's say I go a little bit further away now. So maybe 2 hands away, and let's see what happens. So finding the stability, finding my feet together, looking between my hands, and I'm going to try to shift backwards a little bit and jump. And now, because I'm too far from the wall, I need to open my hips to find the wall with my feet. Otherwise, I'm gonna be somewhere here. And that's something that could happen. All right? So you don't want also to be very far from the wall. Let's try again with a little bit closer to the wall so I can demonstrate what I'm gonna show you. From here, I jump up. Okay, now my bum is against the wall, and I'm on a very, very heavy angle because my hips are back and my arms are down away from my hips. And I could barely hold it. My wrist is already hurting me. And if I keep on doing that, if I don't find my structural alignment, then it's going to take a lot of work, and maybe it's going to injure you, and you have to step back from your training for quite a while. All right? So let's try to practice mindfully here and really figure out for yourself what is working for you, what is not working. Okay? So let's say we have found ideal positioning. For me, that was about half a hand, maybe 1 hand away. I'm going to try to find my shoulder above my wrist. Shoulders straight, pushing tall, elevated. Legs are feet together, nice and light on my feet. And up, and down, and up, and down, and up, and down. All right? So notice we're not trying to open the neck too much because that's all going to affect how our spine is moving. And also, you want to find the right power that you kick up and you find yourself exactly onto the wall. Not too much, not too little. And more importantly, once we get our feet on the wall, we want to try to come down as softly and as gracefully as we can, just like a cat. In this practice, we're going to learn more and more how to do that. But if you want to learn more, we're going to regress that into my next video, which is doing the exact same thing but only on the ground, which can really practice how, or with less weight, how to absorb the impact with our legs and land very softly. All right, I'll see you in the next video. Peace.